Hey everyone, so this is a question that I get asked quite a lot. Is hot swapping okay? Will I not get banned if I hot swap? Do I have to flash my drive? Can I just hot swap instead? Well, this is something that I covered briefly in another video, but I felt like I should make a full video on this topic. Now it won't be too long, but I'll just be showing you all. So first off, you can see I have two Xboxes right here. They're both JTAGs, but this system right here is going to be my flash system. And this one is also flashed, but for now let's just pretend it isn't. This is going to be my hot swap system that is not flashed. So first off, why is one system open and the other isn't? Well, see, here's the thing. With a flash system, you can just put in a backup game and you're good to go. With a hot swap system, you always have to keep the system open, and I'll explain that in a little bit. So what are we looking at now? We are looking at what a hot swap system would normally look like. Now, I do have the top cover for this drive, and I don't really feel like pulling out the magnet, but normally you would have to peel this label apart and then pull the magnet out and keep it on top of there so your disc wouldn't go around flying everywhere. Now, what does the term hot swap mean and where did it come from? Now, I started hot swapping back in the PS1, PS2 days, and really the reason why it has that name is because instead of installing a mod chip, what you would be able to do is you could normally put in a original game and then at one point force the tray, or the PS2 had a tray, PS1 just had a cover. Essentially what you could do, you could just force the system open without realizing that it was open and then quickly swap out the disc for a burned game and boot your game that way. So that is where the term hot swap comes from, because it's just you're swapping it on the go right there while it's running. Was this bad for the hardware? Normally, yes. Getting a mod chip was just, it's harder to install, but probably easier on your hardware in the long run. Anyways, the first myth I'm going to dispel right here is that you cannot boot up any backup with a hot swap drive. Now, yes, you can play backups, but I'll explain what I mean right now. So going on with my previous explanation, this is normally how it would have been in the PS1 and 2 days. Pretend this is a PS1 or PS2 or it just worked like that. So let's say I had a copy of Left 4 Dead. So I'd be playing that in there, and let's just say it's spinning around. Now at one point, normally you would have to time it right. You could force the drive open, or if you had it open like this, you could just pop it out, but you could take out your original copy of Left 4 Dead, and then pop in a backup of Max Payne 3 and it would play. However, this is what I'm going to be dispelling and explaining to you all right now. This does not work, okay? Why would you want to hot swap? Well, really the only reason why you'd need to hot swap is if you want to play a modded copy of a game without flashing your drive. And there are a few games that you can mod the ISOs on. For example, Call of Duty, you can do that. But there's not enough games to mod, in my opinion, just direct ISO, that are really worth going through this. So by that I mean, if you have an original copy of Left 4 Dead and you hot swap it, you can play a copy of Left 4 Dead. However, again, if you have an original copy of Left 4 Dead, you cannot hot swap it out and pop in a copy of any other game. This is the main thing I wanted to spell right here and just eliminate out of people's minds. This is something that you cannot do, okay? Because some people think, oh, well, I don't have to flash my drive. All I can do is just hot swap and I can play any copied game I want to. No, that's not the case at all. You can only swap for the same game. So what is the benefit of hot swapping compared to a flashed system? Well, really the only benefit is that you don't have to flash your drive. Now, flashing a drive is not hard. Several people think it's really, really hard to do. But at the end of the day, it's not that hard, and I have plenty of tutorials on my channel that break it down real easy. And if you can't figure it out, you can probably pay someone anywhere from 15 to 30 bucks to flash your drive for you, and you should be good to go after that. So from all this talk, it probably seems like I really prefer a flash system. Well, yes, honestly, I do prefer a flash system. The reason why is because if you are backing up your games, this is a much more practical method. If you have a game that you need to back up and you make a copy of, you just pop it in and it loads and that's it. While as on here, if you're saying, oh, my disc is scratched up, but I'm going to make a copy of it and then boot that copy by hot swapping, you can ruin the original disc even more. So normally what you would do with something like this, like let's say that I ISO modded this game. Normally what you'd have to do is you'd have to run the game, and then you have to go somewhere on your dashboard and you have to install the game. But while it is loading that up, or while it's loading game details, you pull out the original and you end up popping in your modded copy and it installs. Because you can't run the copy itself on there, or you might be able to, but I don't think you can. Everybody just installs. But that's really all there is to it on that. While as with a flash system, you can just pop it in and you're good to go. But what if you keep hot swapping and it gets to the point where you damage your original disk beyond repair? Well, you see, if you have a flash system, you have that copy that you can boot straight away. While as on a hot swap system, you always need that original copy. So therefore, you're going to have to go out and buy another copy of Left 4 Dead, and you just had to spend another 20-30 bucks on that. Way to go. Now another question on everyone's mind. If I hot swap instead of flashing my drive, I'm not going to get banned. Is that true? No, that is 100% untrue. You see, if you stealth patch your backups and you're fine, you should be good to go on the flash system. Now, on paper you shouldn't get banned, but you're always running the risk of getting a ban. But the thing is, on either of these two, I'm assuming you're going to be playing a modded copy of a game. At the end of the day, you're playing a modded copy of a game. That's pretty much the same thing as saying, oh yeah, I'm not going to get banned on Call of Duty because I'm using USB mods. No, that's completely untrue. You can still get banned. So that's one of those things. If you're playing a modded copy of a game on a flash drive, or if you're playing it on a hot swap system, even if the hot swap system is not flashed, you will still get banned. Or maybe, because some games they don't really care about. But the point is, you run a risk of getting banned equally on either setup. So I really hope this video helped clarify some things and answer a few questions. So at the end of the day, what do I recommend? I'd recommend flashing your system over hot swapping any day. The only time you should hot swap is maybe if your system does not have a custom firmware out for it. If it has a custom firmware out for it, then you don't really have an excuse to hot swap. So anyways, this is Mr. Mario signing off. Thanks for watching. Have fun flashing.